Hey, this is Christian Roldan.
And Jordan Morris from the Seattle Sounders Football Club.
And you're listening to
This is Nos Odietis.
This episode of Nos Odietis is sponsored by Full Pull Wines, a Seattle-based wine retailer and proud sponsor of Nos Odietis since 2011. Full Pull was founded in 2009, is based in Seattle, and is owned and operated by longtime Sounders supporters. They offer the best boutique wines of the world to members of their mailing list, with special focus on their home, the Pacific Northwest.
Here we go. Come on! Hey, O'Shan! Let's go!
A sideline fry! The Seattle Sounders have done it! MLS Cup winners!
Here comes Ray James through the middle to crown it for Seattle! And now they truly can start the celebrations. It's the Sounders MLS Cup.
Nicola Dero leaves absolutely no doubt! The Sounders rule the region!
Seattle Sounders is going good!
They've scored! They've scored! Finally!
This feels fucking awesome.
This is a tiny dog.
Is that what you young people call twerking?
That podcast says cheated!
You wanna win? This is the Seattle Sounders, bro.
Welcome back to another episode of Nos Odietis. I am Jeremiah O'Shan. Joining me today is a former Sounder and current color commentator for Sacramento Republic to help me preview tomorrow's Open Cup quarterfinal. Is Adam Moffat. Thank you for joining me, Adam.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jeremiah. It's always good to connect with some of my former clubs, so thanks for having me on.
Yeah, absolutely. So just real quick, tell us how you ended up in Sacramento.
I have no idea. I just woke up one day. No, it was a long journey. So I left the Sounders in the end of the 2013 season, and then I went to Dallas for a year. If I can jog my memory here, Dallas for a year. I did 2 years at the New York Cosmos. Then I did my final 2 years with Sacramento Republic here in Northern California, and then I stopped playing in 2018. I retired from playing, and yeah, I've been involved with the organization since then, calling games and trying to impart some of my knowledge on the listeners at home. So it's fun. It keeps me connected with the club, but that's where I've been since I left the Sounders.
Yeah, so how did you, do you have any other connection to Sacramento, or was Sacramento just the team that you ended up playing for?
Yeah, just playing for. We were in New York, my wife and I. My wife's from California, but she's still in California, so I don't know. Sacramento didn't sound too appealing to her, although I'd heard great things about it. It's a good organization, that for me, at that time, it was a prospect of them going to the MLS. Not necessarily for me playing there, but just for next steps after my career. And obviously that hasn't materialized yet, who knows? But it was just more for down the line. And it seemed like a place I could raise my kids. And now I wanted to be back on the West Coast. So yeah, no one else here, but we love it. It's such a fantastic place. Although it's 111 degrees today. So I don't know how much I love it. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll definitely get into that. I just wanted to get a little bit more information about this. Sacramento has sort of become sort of the giant killers of the USL when it comes to the Open Cup. They have, something like 5 or 6 wins in recent years over MLS teams. They made a run all the way to the final a couple years ago. What is it about Sacramento and the Open Cup that seems to be resonating so much?
It's been brilliant to experience that. And I love that giant killers, but I don't even think, the players go in there full of confidence they're going to win these games, which is great to see. Because obviously we know there is a difference between the quality of MLS and the USL. I think, the USL is getting better, the MLS is getting better as well. But I think these players just kind of just fed, and that's not only the last couple of years, obviously getting to the final, but years before as well. When I played for the Republic, we beat the Sounders last time we met, and I played.
That's right. Game. Yeah.
So I say that when I was an MLS player playing against teams in the lower level, they're always up for it. They've got that extra chip on their shoulder to prove something. But to be as consistent as the Republic have been in the Open Cup, it's fantastic. And Mark Briggs does a really, really good job, the head coach of ensuring that players to maximize the best out of the players on that night, right? Can you give every single thing you have on that night? And they've been able to do that pretty consistently. So it's going to be a really fun game tomorrow night.
Yeah, and Sacramento has been one of the most consistent. It's not like it comes out of nowhere either, right? Sacramento has also been one of the most consistent teams in the USL Championship. They're once again having a pretty solid season. Who are some of the standout players right now?
They've got a couple of big injuries, to be honest. So Rodrigo Lopez, who's been around for a long time, the Sacramento legend. He tore his ACL a couple months back. He actually tore it, I believe, in that San Jose game in the last round. But he is the leader of the squad. So he's injured. Russell Cicerone, who's the leading goal scorer last year, unlikely to play as well, had surgery. So those two are big losses. But they've had other players stepped up. Jack Gurr on the right-hand side, who's part of that run, just loves to get up and down that right-hand side. Whip crosses in. Wing back, Danny Vitiello in goals has having probably the best season he's had. He's two-time Golden Glove winner in the USL Championship, so it's really hard to beat him. Some of the saves he's been making, and then you go into the midfield. You've got Luis Felipe, who was part of that run as well to the Open Cup final. A guy who has kind of been in and out the MLS, the San Jose Earthquakes organization. Didn't really establish himself, but just an absolute quality player. And then an exciting player we have up top, Kieran Phillips, an English guy who's come on loan from Huddersfield, and he did really well in that last game against the San Jose Earthquakes. But I might be missing some people out. You mentioned, they are a consistent team in the USL, and they do have a really good squad. So there's a lot of players who contribute who've been around for a couple of years as well, and they've established a really good core as well. So give themselves a decent chance on Tuesday night.
And so looking at the sort of the scouting report, it looks like mostly playing in a 3-5 back or 3 center back system, 5 back, whatever, however you break it down. But is that pretty accurate? Is that what you expect in this game to set up as with 3 in the back, or 3 center backs, I should say?
That's the formation that they've kind of adapted over the years. It's been 3-4-2-1. It can change. It can go 3-4-1-2. But defensively, when they don't have the ball, they get back to a back 5, and you can just watch them. They're really tough to break down, and they have defensively been one of the best teams in the USL Championship the last 2 seasons, and that's partly with the formation. So that can vary from time to time. If the matchups aren't there, if there's injuries or whatnot, that sometimes can change a little bit. But I think it's proven, and that's the formation that they used and got success on that run to the Open Cup finals.
So you mentioned that it's 111 degrees there today. I know there's a heat wave sort of sweeping through the West, which luckily here in Seattle, it's not quite as extreme, but I got to imagine it's still going to be pretty hot, even though the game starts at 7:30. What are you expecting in terms of not that you're a weatherman or anything, but what kind of role do you expect the conditions to play in a game like this?
It is tough. I mean, it's the sun's still out at that time, and the sun will just be dropping. I think the kickoff's at 8 p.m. actually. So
okay.
The sun does just go down behind the stands, but it'll still be warm. It'll be a bit clammy. Obviously, we don't have this humidity here like you do in other parts of the US. I spent enough time in Texas to not miss that humidity. So it does play an effect, especially when sometimes these games we know can go to extra time, right? You could be in for a long night. We had a long night in that last round against the San Jose Earthquakes. So it takes its toll further as the game goes on, and this is an elimination game. So both teams, whether they're up or down, if you're down a goal, you're going to go for it. One of these 2 teams might be down a goal late in the game, and they're going to go for it, right? So there's going to be a little bit of fatigue, and as we know, these players are playing a lot of games now as well. So it's it definitely has taken its toll. But I'm just glad the game is at 8 p.m. because anything before that would be brutal.
And I also saw that it's $2 beer night. What is the crowd like in Sacramento? On a normal night, let alone a night where they're slinging $2 beers.
Yeah, that'll bring a few fans in. I'm sure. It's really good fan base. The best fan base in the USL. I mean, consistently getting, I think, almost 10,000 a game. So it's such a great market, and that's something that I, as a player, when I decided to come here, I didn't want to go anywhere where we weren't getting any fans. You want to play in front of fans as a player. So it's these players love playing in front of their home crowd, and $2 beers will bring in maybe a few Tuesday night people who didn't have, who maybe had other plans, or there's no school, right? So that's all right.
Right.
Yeah, summer break. So, but great fans. Get behind them. A little bit of an intimidating atmosphere for others coming. We don't have the numbers in the USL like some of these MLS teams do, obviously, and Seattle being one of those. But it is a really good. It's a good place to play. Even as a visitor, I came and played when I was with the New York Cosmos, and we had 25,000 at an exhibition game when I was with the Cosmos playing against Sacramento in a preseason game, and I was like, wow, this is crazy. So it was good, and it kind of gave that feeling of Seattle or Portland when I was up there as well. Of, these people really enjoy that game, and they've got a good soccer brain on them. So it's a fun place to play. I'm sure the players will enjoy being out there.
Yeah, I would imagine, and I remember it being quite the atmosphere even back in 2018 when the Sounders and Sacramento played, and that game also went to overtime, and it was, if I remember correctly, Republic kind of dominated that game, and it was a sort of a reminder that when MLS teams don't bring their top players, especially the talent gap between the two leagues is really not that big, and especially if you have the extra motivation of not only playing in front of your home fans, but sort of to prove a point, that really tends to close the gap pretty quickly, and it becomes much more of a like a knife fight, for lack of a better term.
It does, yeah, it does. There is, as I mentioned earlier, there's a difference between those starting MLS teams and starting USL teams. There is a higher quality there. There's players who are making millions from all over the world, but sometimes in the Open Cup, they're not putting the stronger teams up, and that's the club's choice. That's up to them. But it becomes a much more even game when they're not putting the strongest lineup in, because a lot of these guys in the USL are established, and they probably could be in those positions in MLS teams where they're pushing for a starting spot or on the bench. They could be in those. So it evens out the playing field a little bit, but then you add the fact that these players in the USL have that chip on their shoulder. They get something to prove. It really, that's why you see these upsets so much. You've New Mexico still in there, India 11 still in there as well. So, I'll be honest, I want all these guys to win. I want the lower level teams to win. And I think it's good for that, and especially with obviously the way the Open Cup's kind of been conducted this year as well. So.
Absolutely. And what is, generally speaking, what is the attitude as far as getting into MLS? I would imagine that's still something that is on the mind of Sacramento, but maybe not front as mind. It does feel, at least from the outside, like this has become a viable product, just even if it is just a USL championship team.
Yes, being in the USL championship, the team's going to do fine, right? They're going to have the fans, they're going to have the market, and they keep being ambitious and doing things. Obviously, we had the MLS, and then didn't have MLS, which was really disappointing. But the market's there. So again, I don't go too much into the finding the owners and all that. So
right.
The door may still be open, hopefully. And again, I'm not privy to all that stuff, but all I do know is it's a fantastic market. They've got the fan base. They've obviously got the TV market as well. There's enough people in the Sacramento area, which is growing. And they've got the support of the city. So it would be a great place for it. But I love them as a USL championship team. If it become an MLS team, I'll love them the same as well. So, and I know the people of Sacramento will too.
Well, I know we have a few people that are making this trip out there. Any recommendations you want to share with for an afternoon in Sacramento that might not be overly hot, or that might get them out of the heat? I mean,
yeah, anywhere with AC. I don't really. Who knows where it's at? They've done a really good job. When the Kings stayed in Sacramento, they got the Golden One Arena down there downtown, and they put a lot of stuff in and around there, redoing the downtown area. So there's plenty of places. I'm up in the suburbs. I'm up in Folsom, so I stay up. I stay up out the way here, kind of on the way up to Tahoe. It's nice up this way, but yeah, I know people come in anywhere with AC. Get to the mall or something. I don't know. I would just avoid being out from
Absolutely.
9 a.m. to game time. But it'll be a warm day, but that's all right. That's again, when I lived in Texas, that's every day in the summer.
Yeah, I suppose if you get there early enough, like you get really early, you might be able to make it out to Tahoe and back. But that would be, that's what, a solid 2-hour drive from there.
It's not bad. Yeah, from where I live. It's about, we can get up there in 75 minutes. And
okay,
you put 75 minutes, and there's about 30 degrees cooler. So it's really,
right.
It's a nice option on certain days. But yeah, we definitely do get some heat here.
Absolutely. Well, Adam, thank you so much for taking the time. Thanks for catching up with us, and continued best of luck out there.
Jeremiah, thank you so much. And yeah, all the best for the Sounders for the upcoming season. Not so much tomorrow. I'm going to risk my most current club for this one.
Yeah, no, fair enough.
Thank you so much for connecting. And yeah, I do keep rooting for the Sounders as well when they're in MLS play.
Yeah, well, I'm actually hopping on a plane tomorrow, and I'll be there, and then I'm heading right back. But hopefully, I'll see you at the game.
Yeah. Hopefully, I'll see you there. I know I was texting Andy Rhodes as well, so I'll hopefully catch him before the game as well. I don't have many former teammates who are still playing now. They're all like,
no, I guess not.
Getting to that age, but yeah, I'll enjoy the travels and enjoy Sacramento. Have you've been here before?
Oh yeah, I'm from Northern Cal. I'm from San Jose, or the Bay Area. So I've spent some time in Sacramento. I've spent a lot of time in Tahoe. So yeah. I know the region pretty well.
Yeah, awesome.
All right. Well, thank you, Adam, for doing this. I'm Jeremiah Shan. This is Nos Adietes, and we will catch you next time.
We love you. Let's win another one.